couple of years ago. I was on my way to a presentation, and I usually like to get to a presentation about an hour early, thank goodness. Because you need to set up time, you need to kind of build in when something's going to go wrong. And anyway, I had to run an errand this particular day. So I would quickly run an errand, I come out of the store, I get in my car, and the battery's dead. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, oh my God, like my heart started beating. I look around the parking lot and there's an auto parts store in the parking lot. I'm like, oh, what luck. So I go over there, I run over there, and I say, my battery died, I need to buy a new battery. They're like, not a problem. And I was so grateful because the man in there, after I purchased the battery, walked over my car, put the battery in, and I was on my way. I mean, so it was really like, it took me 15, 20 minutes, and I was like right on schedule. I wasn't late, I had plenty of time to do my presentation. I was very, very grateful for that. When I got home later that day, I was sharing a story with my brother, and he said to me, he says, isn't your battery covered under warranty? Because I don't know about you, but this is from a woman's perspective. You know what, I'm really not interested in spending $100 on a battery. I can find a lot of other things I could spend $100 on, but battery would be at the top of the list. So when he said that, I was like, I don't think so. I said, batteries and tires are not usually included. He goes, you might want to check on that. So I said, okay. So about a week later, I decided, I went by the dealership on my way home, and I went in and I spoke to a salesperson, because like they're like flies. They see you coming, right? So I walk in the door and said, man, can I help you? I said, yes. I said, could you tell me if the battery is covered under warranty? He says, well, if you haven't exceeded your years or your miles, one or the other, he said, if you have exceeded one or the other, then no. Yet if you're within the years and the mileage, yes. I said, wow. I said, that's great news. I said, my battery died on my way to a presentation, and I needed to have it replaced. I said, if I bring you my receipt, will you reimburse me for my battery? He says, well, let me check on that. He goes, I'll go check with service. I said, okay, great, do that. So he left, and for 20 minutes, I thought he got sucked into the black hole of service. Comes back out, and he says to me, ma'am, he says, I got a question for you. Silly question. And he says, I'm just curious. He says, do you know what day your battery died? I said, I know exactly what day my battery died. It died on Thursday. He said, oh, I'm sorry. He said, had your battery died on Sunday, we would have reimbursed you for it. Because it died on a Thursday, and we have service hours on Thursday, it's not covered under warranty.
What?
So I looked at him and I said, really? I said, are you telling me that this dealership would have rather paid for towing and a battery rather than just reimburse me for the battery? He said, yeah. He said, no. He says, that sounds crazy. He says, and yes, that's what I'm saying. So I said, I said, is that your final answer? And he said, yeah. He says, it is. And I said, okay. Well, I got to tell you, that wasn't my final answer. I walked out, I went back to my office, I went to the website, I looked up the CEO of the dealership, the whole dealership of the model of the car, and wrote a letter. And I wrote in the reference line, my customer service experience. And I just laid out everything that I shared with you. I attached the receipt. And I said, I want to thank you. I said, this is a beautiful example that I can use in presentations to come. I said, because this is crazy. I said, really? I said, I got to tell you, every year, which amazes me, on my birthday, the customer service and sales department actually make a proactive call to me and sing happy birthday. And you're telling me that your service department won't reimburse me for a battery. I said, everything that your sales department and your customer service department are attempting to do to get people to come back and use your service department is being squandered. By your service department. They're not communicating right. I go, is that what the intention is here? Within 2 hours, I would say, by the end of the business day, I had a phone call from the corporate people. And they said, we're so sorry. We're really very sorry. that happened, and we absolutely will reimburse you for your battery. And you'll be receiving a call from the service manager so that he can apologize. I said that, it's not really necessary. I never even had a conversation with the service manager. He was off in the service department. I go, that's okay. I said, I just wanted to bring it to your attention because it just didn't seem like it was right to me that somebody could say that out loud. And it was kind of crazy. So bottom line is, again, they told me they were going to provide them some coaching so that they understand that, sometimes policy, without knowing what you're trying to accomplish as a business, policies sometimes are the end-all be-all, and they're not. They shouldn't be. What you're trying to achieve as a business, that's the end-all be-all, and that certainly wasn't what was demonstrated. Okay? So it gets better. It gets better. As we move forward,